Now, isn't this an interesting concept? Christians will say you are a fool for believing in this, that there were the Anunnaki who came down as gods and they created man utilizing their own DNA and the hominids that were here. And that these Anunnaki had spaceships and flying machines and they lived for a very long time. And the King's List that lists some of them ruling for 25,000 years and so on and so forth. That if you believe all of that, then you are a fool. But yet they want me to believe this, that some dude named Moses put a staff in at the edge of the water and he split the Red Sea. They wanted me to believe that some dude named Noah was able to get every animal on the planet onto a boat, and that the boat was 18 feet higher than the tallest mountain, which would be Everest, even at that time frame, which was a height to which no living thing could survive. That all that fresh water and salt water mixed together, but somehow the sea life still remained. The fact that there's not even enough water on the planet or inside the planet to cover the entirety of the planet demonstrates that this is not factually based nor based on any science whatsoever. And that there is zero archaeological evidence of any of those things happening in the way that the Bible says that it happens. I know that there was the Younger Dryas flood that rose sea levels 400 feet. It destroyed pretty much all the coastal areas around the planet. And so, since most people lived in the coastal areas, they would believe that the whole planet had been destroyed because of their lack of understanding and knowledge. So, the fact that it is easier for you to believe this than it is for you to believe this right here just shows that you just are applying your cognitive dissonance and your confirmation bias in order to continue to believe in this false doctrine that you call your religious Bible of the Abrahamic religions. Demonstrates that you purposely choose to ignore facts. Now, the fact of the matter is, almost everything that is claimed by the Sumerians and on down to the Babylonians, as far as the Anunnaki are concerned, there is more evidence of those things simply because we are able in today's world, and I want you to think about this, we are able in today's world to reproduce a good number of the things that Anunnaki talked about that they did. Do we have the ability today that if you were trying to have a child, that we can splice genes and decide if that child's going to have brown eyes or blue eyes or gray eyes, that they're going to have this color hair or that color hair or this texture and that texture, this much melanin, that much melanin? Do we have flying machines? I flew on one to Boston today so I can watch my Hawks beat the shit out of these Celtics. But I flew, but I flew on one of these flying machines that we have today. That they talked about how the gods had flying machines back then. They talked about how the gods taught them irrigation. We flew over waters where we have irrigated places. Think about it. Washington, D.C. is built on a swamp. We were able to engineer a method to be able to pump that water out so that we can build a city. We've irrigated areas all across this world. We are doing the exact same thing that the Anunnaki were claimed to have taught man back in the day, but we're doing it now. We have medications and ways of living to extend life well beyond what people were living back then. Infant mortality is way higher today than it was, way higher back then than it is today. People don't die just from having babies. There's not as many stillbirths and miscarriages because of our medical science. The same thing that the Anunnaki were talking about that they did. Their understanding of the pineal gland. Now we understand the pineal gland. So which one is more believable? Because we don't have facts of either one. But based on the evidence of things that we can accomplish today that are similar, which one is more believable? Do we have a ship that's big enough to hold 2 of every animal that's clean and 7 of every unclean animal, and that ship could survive at a height that is 18 feet higher than Mount Everest? Hell no, we don't have that. Can we split the Red Sea? And even though that's a misinterpretation and you're talking about the Sea of Reeds, but can we split the Red Sea? Hell no. Can we just magically make all the water turn into blood? No, we can't make water turn into blood. Can we cause locusts and boils and the big one, decide that these specific people, we're going to kill the firstborn of every one of them by some angel of death swooping in through a town, and only killing them because we painted some blood of an innocent lamb over a door. Hell no. We can't do any of those things. So if I was just came into this world as a full adult with cognitive abilities, and you told me both of these stories, and I looked around, which one do you think I'm going to believe is more reality? You have a great day. And remember always, you got to free yourself to be yourself, because your greatness is non-negotiable. Good journey, good vibrations.